Lightsabers hum, they light up the night. Pete and Nick keep the galaxy bright. From Tatooine sands to indoor trees, they're bringing the news with galactic ease. ATGLive, we're blasting away, talking Star Wars every Thursday. Interviews, opinions, and all the lore. Hop on the Falcon, they're opening the door. From Vader's breath to Grogu's charms, theories and chats, they keep us disarmed. Around the galaxy tonight, Chris and Kelsey keeping it tight. They're breaking news like a Death Star blast, taking your calls and reading your chats. The greatest guests and what you need to know. Pete and Nick lead the Star Wars show. ATGLive, we're blasting away, talking Star Wars every Thursday. Interviews, opinions, and all the lore. Hop on the Falcon, they're opening the door.
We're home.
Well, welcome to ATGLive, your Thursday night home for me not being muted when it's time for me to talk on a microphone.
That's a big plus.
It hasn't happened. It's been like 3 weeks in a row. It's been time for me to say something. I was muted because I'm old and I don't always know how technology
works.
Where's
the button? I don't know where
what are we doing here? But it's Thursday. I'm Nick. This is Pete. We're here and we're going to talk about Star Wars tonight. We've got a bunch of fun stuff on deck. We're going to do Snoketoberfest. We have an amazing guest. And most importantly, it's Thursday and it's Star Wars. We weren't here last week. We're here this week. We've kind of transitioned to that every other week thing. But before we get to any of the rest of that, Pete Fletzer, my friend, my co-host, my buddy, how are we doing?
Really good, but I'm not gonna lie. There's like a lot going on here for somebody who's a Phillies and a Flyers fan and a Giants fan. The Giants and the Eagles are playing. I believe the Eagles are losing right now to the Giants, which is good news for me, believe it or not. The Flyers, I don't even know what that score is because the Phillies are in the 10th inning and it's tied at 1. So my focus is on a little bit on baseball, but mostly on Star Wars because tonight we have an awesome, really cool guest. I love that we're finding guests that are really have something different and something special in their Star Wars world because that's kind of what it's all about.
That's 100% correct. And as you kind of teased to that tonight, our guest is a guy named Jake Wexler. Jake is a Star Wars fan, which we're going to dig into. We're going to talk about. He's a sci-fi fan. He's a UFO guy, which is interesting because he's even said on some of his TikTok videos, I make lots of UFO stuff, but I'm not sure how I feel about this UFO thing. I love that. That's kind of where I am. But he's a woodworker, and I found him through TikTok. His videos showed up in my feed because I'm the kind of old guy that's like whiskey, woodworking, Star Wars. Like those are the things that show up in my, algorithms most of the time.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk to Jake because he makes these he makes lightsabers out of wood. He's made an AT-AT. He's made Luke's
an AT-AT.
An AT-AT and AT-AT depends on which part of the the aisle you fall on.
Right, exactly.
Luke's land speeder, the Venator class Star Destroyer, like so many crazy things. We've got some great pictures we're going to put up while we're talking to him. So I'm excited to talk to Jake about his fandom and what he's been doing with it in his woodworking and that kind of stuff. So there's lots happening as far as that's concerned. Pete, we are at the top of the show. This is that housekeeping kind of thing.
Yes.
Tell us about what else we need people to know about, or we want people to know about.
Matt says it's at. I know.
Hey,
I know.
that's
what I agree with that. But we gotta play for everybody. Yes, top of the show, things to know. We have a voicemail number, 504-321-1501. Matt, we've gotten a couple from you, and I gotta be honest, I haven't had a chance to listen to them yet because it's just been a little bit super crazy. But you can also go to the sswnetwork.com to get information about all the things that you need to know about the show. You can find links. You can find where to find us on social. You can find us at the SSW Network on Instagram and on TikTok and on Twitch. Holy cow, we're on Twitch.
Right.
And on I think Threads and of course Twitter and but we run the feed through Twitter on ATGcast because it's only because age gets numbers. So I've been there longer, so I got a bunch of stuff there. And also, hey, you can find a link to a brand new book which is coming out in November. So I just thought I'd throw that up there. But so that's just just go to the website, the SSWnetwork.com.
Go to the website.
Just do that, and that's all you got to do. It's easy.
It's what we say. It's your one-stop shop for all the things that we are trying to push on you: merchandise, stickers, pint glasses, Pete's new book that comes out in November, which we're really excited about, and I can't wait to talk about here in just a few short weeks. The voicemail line, our Patreon program, we have all of it. We have all the things that every live stream and social media and podcast and all those, everybody's pushing a thing at you. We're not any different, but we're super nice. We're funny. We like whiskey. We like Star Wars.
Exactly.
Check those things out. We would love for you to participate in whatever ways you can. In the meantime, we are here. We're getting updates from Benny. The Phillies did not score in the top of the 10th. That's good news for me. But we can't do the things we do without our fabulous producer, Kelsey. We're going to bring Kelsey in. Kelsey, good evening. How are you?
Doing all right. Living that smuggler life, just never home anymore.
I was going to say, what city are we in tonight?
That one's a secret. You'll see on Saturday, but
right.
just on the road again.
It's on the road.
Kelsey always on the road.
Kelsey actually drives a van with a satellite dish on the top so she can do the show from wherever she
wherever, yeah.
I do actually drive a van. It's a production van, though.
Heck yeah. She's going to end up at like a Sheetz or a Buc-ee's or some other like big truck stop, conglomerate situation any day now.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, that's right. We'll see. Well, Kelsey, we're glad to see you. Chris, our other producer, is going to be rumored to join us for the news a little bit later in the show. He had some stuff going on at the top of the show, so we hope to see Chris in just a little bit. But in the meantime, Pete, do we have a Sportsball update? Is it possible that
we do? Okay, so first of all, let's just throw this out. The Eagles are winning now. Of course they are. The freaking Giants. All right, I'm not even going to worry about that. So here's an update. So we had gotten behind a week, and so I was running two of the votings at the same exact time, but I made a mistake because I had picked Darth Tyrannus for my Sith, which was one of the two things that was going out there. But instead, I put Darth Vader on the voting, and Darth Vader freaking killed it. But Darth Vader was not
cheater.
Cheater.
I mean, it wasn't an intentional cheat, but yeah. So
Pete is the Houston Astros of the SSW Network Sportsball Fantasy Fake Star Wars Football League.
So we're not going to tell you who won that because it doesn't matter, because next week you're going to be able to vote on Sith, which will be Palpatine, Jar Jar Binks, Darth Maul, or Darth Tyrannus, which, by the way, is a great pick, I think, for anybody who might be thinking about getting involved next week. But this week we did the Jedi, and I know I do not have graphics for it, but I can give you the rundown. Through our voting of the 4 Jedi, there were 4 choices. There was Luke, there was Qui-Gon, there was Yoda, and there was Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan, my pick, won with a whopping 50% of the vote because, hey, it's Obi-Wan. Second place was Kelsey's Luke Skywalker. Third place was Raven's Qui-Gon Jinn with 10%. And Nick picked Yoda, which only was outperformed by Mon Mothma in 2024 with a 5.3%. So, but here's the important part. The standings right now, I have a commanding lead with 18 points. Nick, you have 9 points. Kelsey, you have 7, and Raven has 6. We are, but we're only 4 weeks into this thing. We're going 17 weeks. I can totally screw this up. And as I look down, you guys can't see it. I have the sheet here. I looked down. It's not looking good for me on a couple of these weeks. So I think it's kind of up for grabs for everybody, but it's still a ton of fun. So make sure you go to ATGcast on Twitter where you're watching this right now and vote. How did Luke not win? Because he's not Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's why, Matt. I'm sorry.
So here's the tough part of this. And I probably did vote for Obi-Wan Kenobi this week. But I need to make a full disclosure to some of our friends here. If we used to do camera 2, we're not doing camera 2 tonight. I had a moment where I kind of forgot who I picked in several rounds of the sports ball draft. So when the thing show up on Twitter, I was like, who do I like? That sounds like somebody I would pick. I probably voted for some of your picks. full
take all the
disclosure.
help
I mean,
I can get.
Obi-Wan's my guy. He's bearded. He's got good hair. He's likely to be at a bar having a drink while shit's going down. Like,
Yes.
that's my guy. It doesn't make sense that I would have, not picked Obi-Wan.
If there's somebody who is a Star Wars character in real life, I think you are Obi-Wan. I mean, just you gotta.
So, but I also found our spreadsheet, so I do know who I picked going forward in the rest of the season. So I will at least vote appropriately for my guys.
Yeah. Get it, print it out, put it up on your wall there. But
gotta be ready.
The reason that we have so we'll come back to that next week. There will be 2 to vote for this week because you're gonna have to vote again in the one that I was trying to cheat on apparently and didn't do it. But the reason the Flyers are playing tonight and the Eagles and the Phillies is just because October. It's October right now, which means only one thing. Nick, it's your time. This is your time to shine.
It is the most wonderful season of the year. It's Snoketoberfest.
Yes.
If you haven't been with us before, Snoketoberfest is the time of year where we pour a beer, we drop a Snoke action figure in it, and in the 10 seconds that it takes for Snoke to say that key line from The Rise of Skywalker, we're going to chug that beer. As it's a form of a toast, it's a way to celebrate. Over the course of this last 12 months, we have had themed toast with action figures. We've had Ahsoka, we've had Jan Dodanuary, Boba Fettuary. We've had all kinds of themed toasts.
Yes.
Lots of fun. But we wouldn't have any of those things if it weren't for Snoketoberfest. So I have my beer poured up. It's in my Skywalker Ranch glass. I have Supreme Leader Snoke himself right here. He's going to go in.
Nice.
And I am quite simply raising my toast tonight in Snoketoberfest to my friends that are here on the screen, the people who I get to hang out with on a weekly to bi-weekly basis, talking Star Wars, Weird Space Friends, all the things that we love. We do this because we love Star Wars. We met each other through Star Wars. We love to hang out. We love to be together. Pete, if you have our other video ready, I think
I do. We actually, because Snoketoberfest is such a big deal, we don't even show this. We just play the audio for this.
So we just play the audio. So
when
we're
you're
going to
ready,
hit it.
Let me know.
Cheers to everyone. Oh, there's a hair stuck to my cup. That's weird. It's one of my dog's hairs too, which is in my studio. That's even weirder.
Sanitary.
Yeah, hey, nothing but the best for all of you. Cheers and happy Snoketoberfest.
I have been every voice you have ever heard inside your head.
He did it. And Kelsey did it. We had a twofer. And the thing with this is one of the things that I did notice over the last 12 months is every month the video got a little longer. And I was thinking maybe Nick has lost his touch.
No,
Nick has not lost his touch.
The Snoketober. So the Snoke clip, the I have been every voice you've ever heard inside your head, is right at about 9 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris made all those amazing videos over the last year, Ahsoka, all the different ones. And I always said to him, I was like, hey, like 10 seconds. Like I kind of wanted to stay almost, in your fighting weight. Like you want to stay ready.
Yep.
And he was like, it's 14 seconds. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah,
we'll chug the beer. Lots of extra time at the end.
Sure. So you can maybe
we're back to where we started. It is
Yes.
Snoketoberfest. It's what started it all. Loads of fun. Slancha Brian. Exactly.
Yep.
So loads of fun.
Well, we do have an awesome guest coming up in just a couple minutes. So why don't we take our first break of the night? And when we come back, we'll be back with Jake Wexler, and we will be talking about wood. So and now we'll be back with more.
This is not a Taylor Swift podcast. Welcome back to ATG Live, your Thursday night home for all things Star Wars, sports, chugging beers with action figures in them, and amazing interviews. I am Nick. This is Pete. This is Kelsey. We are here. We're having a great time. We have a fantastic guest tonight, and we want to jump right in. We want to talk to him. Our guest tonight is Jake Wexler. Jake is a woodworker. He is a TikTok sensation. I'm going to throw that word out there. I don't know if he's going to be comfortable with that, but it's fine. It's my show. I get to do what I want. I found Jake, like I said, through the magic of the algorithms of social media, woodworking, and North Carolina and Star Wars and all these things kind of just created this perfect storm that I sent a message to Kelsey and I was like, and Pete both. And I was like, hey, this stuff's cool. We need to get this guy on. Let's talk about his Star Wars fandom. So we are really excited tonight to welcome to ATG Live, Mr. Jake Wexler.
Hey,
There he is.
this is so cool. I got so into the episode, I forgot I was coming on. I was just like watching a podcast. It's cool. Yeah.
That's great. Well, we are so glad that you joined us. Yeah, this is it's funny. We've had a handful of guests over the last probably couple months that we've just sort of the algorithm was working and it like showed us things that we were interested in and then like Nick said, he showed me some of the stuff you're doing. I was just really impressed with how great everything looked and so but for anyone who hasn't seen your work, like sort of we've been just sort of gushing about it, but tell us a little bit about what you do and some of the Star Wars connection to it as well.
Sure. So, I mean, the one question I hate getting in public is, what do you do for a living? Because I have to tell people that I make wooden spaceships on Instagram and TikTok. It's pretty much what I do.
There's worse jobs, by the way. I mean, there are worse jobs to have.
There's definitely worse jobs, for sure. We're making it work. No, but it started out, we were talking before the show, but it started out as UFOs, like flying saucers. I always loved the sci-fi stuff. And then there was someone, it had to be a year and a half ago, that they just kept commenting the same thing on every video. And it was make a Star Destroyer. And I was like, actually, that's going to be pretty cool. So I ended up doing that. I don't know if you guys have seen that. That was a really long time ago. But I made that. And then from there, it was just kind of one big project at a time. And now it's kind of, mostly what I do. I do a lot of Star Wars stuff now. There's so many different, whether you want to call them props or, just items from the show. There's so much stuff to make that I'll never run out of things.
Yeah, Star Wars will definitely give you an unlimited amount of things to create for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm just, as we're talking, I want to put a couple of these pictures up here because this stuff is incredible. This is the AT-AT, depending on how you want to say that. The detail work in what you're doing, there's lightsabers, there's so many cool things that you have done. That we had the UFO up there. In fact, here's the UFO just a second ago. There's so many different versions of this kind of stuff. It's so fascinating. And to watch your videos, and it falls into that, and I don't know if the title, it's not ASMR, it's not, it's this kind of, but it's your process, it's your progress, a lot of wood turning, a lot of, putting things on a lathe, carving, finishing, showing how you do it. And it's utterly fascinating for people who, I'm old enough that I'm like, it's somebody doing something, like this is enjoyable. Right. It's calming. It's kind of a fun little thing, but you do so many neat things. Talk a little bit about, what got you started in woodworking. I've seen a little bit on your bio on your website, some of that kind of stuff, but talk about, how you ended up doing what you're doing right now.
Sure. So, I mean, can we go all the way back? Is that all right?
Absolutely. Please.
So ever since I was little, I always liked making things. It started, I'd make things out of construction paper. Then I graduated to cardboard and duct tape. And then I got to wood. I never really made it past wood. I think metal would probably be the next step after wood, but we never quite got there. It's more expensive. So I always liked making things. I never would have considered myself a woodworker per se.
Sure.
But I knew I wanted to make things when I grew up. So I ended up going to school for industrial engineering because I thought that as an engineer, you get to make things. Turns out that's not exactly the case. So I graduated and I had this degree, but I wasn't too keen on using it. And at that time, and this is where things get a little weird, my dad had just created a product, which was a wooden beer koozie.
Okay.
It was a really weird thing. And I was like, you know what, before I get into, a real job, maybe I'll try and, do a little woodworking business with my dad. So we actually strung that along for a couple years. My brother hopped on. He's still doing that. But it's just a little repetitive for me, is what I always tell people. So I started making other things, and then it got to the UFOs, and it just kind of took off from there. No pun intended. So yeah, so I was able to kind of, hand off the business, we'll call it, to my brother and my dad. And then I just started making wooden UFOs and spaceships and stuff. So that's
absolutely. Well,
yeah.
It's so great, and there's so many of these, and we've got the the maglev, the Hanger 18 that you've done so many of these. You've got the resin pieces, the LED lights, all this different stuff. If go to Jake's website, we'll link all that stuff in the show notes afterwards. You can find it. It's easy to track him down, but there's so much fun stuff in there. But of course, the thing that first popped you on my radar was your Star Wars stuff, and it was the lightsabers. And so we've got, there's one here on the screen, these classic lightsabers, and you do a lot of wood turning. You've got, everything where you're carving and doing the lathe and all that kind of stuff. I want to ask the questions about Star Wars specifically.
Yeah.
Have you always been a Star Wars fan? Did it something that hit you later in life? Tell us a little bit about kind of the origins of your personal Star Wars fandom.
Sure. So I've always been a Star Wars fan. We had the first two trilogies on VHS tapes when we were younger. I couldn't pinpoint exactly when it really became, more of a thing, but I remember specifically my brother had like an internship. He actually worked at Hasbro for a couple of months.
Okay.
And he sent back a couple lightsabers, and that's probably what kind of like reignited it. I always remember, you have the picture up of Han's blaster.
It's my favorite.
That was an awesome one. What was I saying? But yeah, I was gonna say that kind of reignited it. I mean, I've always been a Star Wars fan. I remember when Episode 3 first came out in theaters. We saw it the first day, and that was like the coolest thing ever. I don't know how old I was at the time, probably like, 14 or 15 or something. I don't remember what year it came out exactly, but and again, it's just kind of been like, I've always liked science fiction. Every book I've ever read has been a sci-fi opera, they call it, like whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's just kind of always where I've kind of gone to creatively, I guess. So it makes sense that this is where we've landed,
For sure. What was the first wood creation that you made that had a Star Wars, bent to it? Was it a lightsaber? Was it the blaster? I mean, this Han Solo blaster, like you've made so many things. Like the Luke's land speeder is incredible. The blaster's incredible. The Venator, the AT-AT, like everything you make Star Wars, I'm a fan of course. But what was that first Star Wars thing like? How did that kind of come to be that like, ooh, Star Wars things, let's try that?
So I mentioned it a minute ago, but the guy who kept commenting, make a Star Destroyer, that was the first Star Wars related item I made. And if you go on my Instagram, it's pinned on my reel. So it's the first thing that's up there. And the way I did it, it's actually on two maglev bases. So it actually hovers above the base. And that kind of like, that's kind of what sent it. I think I didn't do anything else Star Wars for probably a couple months, but after that, the second big Star Wars thing I made was, I think it was the Millennium Falcon. I don't know if you saw that one. Matt.
Yes. Oh yeah.
And then there were some lightsabers thrown in there. They don't take as long, obviously, as some of the bigger stuff. But yeah, it was Star Destroyer, probably a couple lightsabers. Oh, and I did some mini TIE fighter ornaments. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, those were tricky.
It's all incredible. And like, here's that land speeder that we talked about, also has the magnetic levitation where you can, get the little thing going on right there. It's just such a great mashup. And we love any time when people are like, let's smash our passions together. Let's find a way to combine, two things that we love. Whether it's working, it started out as, wooden beer koozies. I'm not even remotely on the level that you are, but I had a small period of time years ago, certainly during the pandemic, where I was doing some at-home woodworking stuff. I made the wooden beer, the 6-pack carriers with the opener on the top, on the side, and, some of that kind of stuff. This is a whole other level because the detail that you put into it, the detail is so good. And I think that's something that also comes from being a fan.
For sure.
Your personal passions connected to it. Talk a little bit about, it's one thing to go, yeah, I can make a lightsaber. Sure. And the guy that asked, blowing you up in the comments going, hey, make a Star Destroyer. but like this is something that you really go, ooh, I want to do this and I want to do it well, and you're going to sell it, and you've got the auctions, part of your website and the ways that you've been able to sell these. But talk about how kind of your passion drives for something like Star Wars connects to this woodworking thing, because those are very different worlds.
Sure. Yeah, I guess it's just I like bringing things to life. Like if I can see it in my head and I think there's a way to do it, I like the actual the act of bringing it into something that I can hold in front of me, because there's so many like these Star Wars items that you see them on the screens, but you'll never get near them. You know what I mean? Like I remember not too long ago, I think it was Luke's original lightsaber sold for like $2.8 million or something like that. Like it's a really cool thing.
Crazy
that you're never going to get to hold, but like to be able to make it yourself, you know what I mean? You said like, obviously there's a lot of detail that I put into it. It's just because I want to see it in front of me, So I guess it's kind of my way of getting to see the things that you're not always going to get to see, and then, part of, I guess the other reason that I spend so much time on the detail, and this is kind of because I'm a competitive person, but usually before I start a build like this, I'll look up to see if anybody else has made like a wooden AT-AT or anything like that. And if they have, I want mine to be just a little bit better than theirs. You know what I mean? Like it's just like that little bit of competitiveness that I just like to make cool stuff. I like, I don't want to be like a clickbaity kind of account. Like I want you to watch it because you want to watch it, not because I tricked you into watching it. And the best way to do that is just to create like a really cool product, something for you to see at the end,
So what are the things, like as a Star Wars fan, what inspires you? Like, are there favorite movies, favorite characters? Are there things that like, oh yeah, I mean, obviously lightsabers are great. You make lots of lightsabers. I want to talk a minute about the Count Dooku lightsaber, because I watched that video, and in fact, I've got the picture right here. It's a curved lightsaber. Like, let's all, let's be serious. As a woodworker, like, there's an extra step there. There's added degrees of difficulty. But what are the things in Star Wars, character-wise, thematically, what inspires you when you're doing this kind of work?
I feel like that's kind of a tricky question. What inspires me from Star Wars? This might not make sense of an answer, but maybe like I like to add my own little twist to things. So like in the past, I've made crash TIE fighters, which like you don't really see in the movie. It's like kind of crashed in the landscape. So like I kind of like to see things from like a slightly different angle, whether it's for the lightsabers, how I display them, like the bases that they sit on, just kind of like give like a unique kind of angle, or bring them into a different kind of light, I guess.
That makes sense. And I've seen that. I haven't seen the TIE fighters, but I've seen that with your UFOs, the crashed UFOs. You've had the ones with like, it's crashed next to the road with the mini cars, and you take the time, like with the Dremel, to carve out, like the broken pieces and all of that. Like it creates a whole different, it's one thing to have the resin with the light and the LED, and that's very cool. But I love that you kind of look at it from, what's the twist I can put on it? What's the spin that makes it something uniquely Jake? And I think that's really a cool way to go.
Pictures, but they might be able to find the crashed TIE fighters. It's a kind of a ways back, but they're kind of fun. I always like those.
Absolutely. So let's talk about process for a minute. I'm a sucker for process. You make a lightsaber. Of course, you make these videos. They're great. A minute and a half. They're TikTok, they're Instagram videos, reels, whatever they are. We see the short version. It's like Extreme Home Makeover. Yeah, it's great. It's an hour-long show, and they rebuild somebody's whole house. Yeah, it's great. It's no problem. What is the timeline on turning out a lightsaber? If you're doing, a traditional Luke lightsaber, an Obi-Wan lightsaber, what does the average for one of those look like?
So the Luke Obi-Wan design, but like the kind of classic with the ribbed part, like that, I've actually gotten pretty good at. I can I no longer have to like measure it. I can just do it. Between the turn, well, usually the prep involves like, I don't always have wood stock that's like the right thickness. So I'll have to glue it together to make it thick enough. So you obviously have to wait for the glue to cure. I'm doing other stuff while that's happening. And then, the turning process, I don't know, maybe they're half an hour to 45 minutes, depending. Obviously, sometimes I run into some issues. Like the one I did the other day, it had resin in it. And then like, I really wanted to make it perfect. So I spent like half an hour making it what I thought it was going to look like. But then I realized it was like way too thick. So I had to kind of go back and like redo it, and ended up taking me like an hour. And then after that, it's like adding the activator switches and all the carving, like the carving around the cap at the bottom. That's always the biggest pain, just because it's like you're carving on a curve and you're trying to keep it like, you're using a flat tool to make a curve. It's, so I don't know, all told, there might be 4-ish hours in a lightsaber, 4 or 5 hours, depending. And then obviously some of the crazier ones, they take a little bit longer, especially if it's the first time I've done it.
Without a doubt. Well, and the one you mentioned is the lightsaber that is it the one with the silver resin in it?
Yes. Yeah. Just
incredible. Like, of all the things I'm just looking at that one going, like, my jaw dropped. I was like, they're all great. So cool, and then we took it to this whole other level.
Yeah. Just, I have plans to do, sorry, I keep cutting you off there. I have plans to do some more, like more color themed ones. So it actually like match up with whose lightsaber it is. But that one was so cool just because the wood that was used, they got really lucky. It's that sycamore, and it had those spalting lines. They're called spalted sycamore. So there's this black, all tattooed look. It's really cool. Yeah. It's
very, very cool. And I saw that one and I was like, I've seen all these cool things he did. And then you just, again, kicked it to the next level. Like, it was really, really great. I can't encourage people enough. Check out your website, find you on TikTok, find you on Instagram, find you wherever you are. We're going to talk a little bit more about, where people can find you in a few minutes. I have a couple of more. We're going to kind of go with some quick hit questions.
Okay. Can Star Wars say fans. Something though?
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, if you go on my website, that you won't like see a whole lot on there. Like, if you're looking to see everything I've done, you have to go into like where everything's sold out. If you want to see like most of what I've done, the best place to look would be on Instagram or TikTok, just because usually, there's not a lot on my site, which is a good problem to have, but
No, it's a great problem.
Figured I'd throw that out there.
And we will definitely link all that up so people can find it after the fact. But I've got a couple of lightning round questions. We're going to hit you. This is good old fashioned Star Wars fan kind of things. Right off the top of the head, favorite Star Wars movie. What's your go-to? What's the one you're putting on?
So it's got to be 3, and I think it's just because the memories that come with it. It was like the first one that I really got to look forward to. All the other ones had already been out, or I was too young to really know. But then once we heard that the third one was coming out, I really got to like get excited for it. And then obviously seeing it in the theaters, if I recall correctly, I think my family and we were the only ones in the theater for whatever reason. It was like on a Tuesday or something. So we got to see it in the theater by ourselves when it came out. So I think that one's got to be it for me.
That's an excellent answer. We're going to hit with favorites. My wife is in the chat. She's asking, can she get a pair of wooden carved Leia buns? So we'll have to add that, throw a little headband on there. We can figure out how to make that work. Favorite character? Who's your Star Wars character? Who's your go-to? Who's the guy guy or gal who represents you in Star Wars?
Wait, I was just thinking about this the other day, but I forget what my answer was. I feel like Luke would be too easy. I'm probably a Qui-Gon fan. And I think part of the reason is because I made his lightsaber a couple months ago, and it was really cool. It's like the feeling of it. So it might just be because of his lightsaber alone. Obviously, Liam Neeson's also awesome, so that's probably part of it. But he's probably up there for me. I'm trying to stay. I'm just trying to stay away from like the obvious ones, I guess.
Hey, there's nothing. Your choice, your fandom. There's no judging here. There's no gatekeeping. I always go with Han Solo because I feel like everybody wants to be Luke Skywalker. He has cool powers, whatever. But also for me, Han Solo is the other person I love. He's Indiana Jones. He's the guy that is kind of trying to make it work, and sometimes it doesn't, but he still ends up in the right place at the end of it. Like, he's the everyday guy. So I get it. It's no worry. There's no judgment there.
I think I immediately just started thinking Jedi. So I was just trying to find a Jedi I liked. I forgot about everybody else.
Nothing wrong with a Jedi. No. You've made a bunch of different lightsabers. We've shown a couple of them. What is your favorite lightsaber to make?
The favorite one to make, or the favorite
or that you have made? Either.
I was going to say my favorite ones to make are the ones that don't take as long.
Sure.
Shoot, who have I made? I will. So does it have to be a specific person, or can be a specific one that I made? Because I did a version
your
of
favorite one you've made.
Okay, I did a version of Luke's a while ago, that it was made from, it's like not curly redwood. It was like a redwood burl. So it had this crazy grain in it, all swirly, and it had these voids that I filled with like this glowing green resin.
Yes, I've seen that one on your
it
feed. It's incredible.
And I did the base for it. It's kind of like a swampy looking base. I think that one's still up there for me. The Count Dooku one was really cool. Who else did I did a really good that one. I did a really good Anakin one that I was proud of a while ago. But yeah, any of those. Honestly, they're all fun.
It's fun. Yeah.
Like
it's all fun.
Every time you put the finish on and it just looks that little bit different than when you were just holding it. It's just like that really, it's a great feeling.
Without a doubt. And again, I can't stress enough the attention to detail, everything that you put into these. You can see it in the video and it covers everything. Yes, Jake does sell. Well, I don't know about the Han blasters.
So I've only made a lot of the larger products or projects are the more intricate ones. They're kind of one-offs. So I haven't been back to a lot of them. So like the Han blaster, that took like 2.5 days. So I don't have plans to jump on another one right now. I've got a lot of other things kind of in the works.
Sure.
So I apologize to that guy,
Matt.
But I don't, I don't have any available at the moment. I apologize.
That's okay. But you're always making do different things. So last question before we go to our break, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to do our news game. We're going to get into the news of the week. Pete is back. Ooh, Pete was almost back. Pete just disappeared literally as I said that. Pete's having some internet problems, but it's okay. We're going to figure it out. But what we're going to ask you before we go to our commercial break is, you talked about Jedi. We talked about your favorite character, that kind of thing. If you get to pick your lightsaber color, what is Jake's lightsaber color going to be?
See, this is kind of annoying because it's the obvious answer, but my favorite color is green. Like it was always green before lightsaber. So I might have to go green, but maybe a different shade of green.
Okay.
Like, can you do like a dark green lightsaber?
Let's do a dark green. I haven't seen one, but I'm all about it. Like,
let's
no
do a
judgment.
Dark green lightsaber.
Totally make it there.
Maybe like a mint green or something like that.
Either one. Go lighter, go darker. It doesn't have to be the traditional green.
Yeah.
This is Star Wars. There's a lot of space out there. Totally works. This has been a lot of fun. I've loved hearing about your fandom. I love hearing about the work you do. I'm, of course, a fan because I've already seen, your videos, and that's how you ended up here hanging out with us tonight. We are going to take a very quick break, and when we come back from our break, go ahead.
Quick thing. I don't know if I don't know if I get a chance afterwards, but I do have like a sneak peek I was hoping to show you guys. Is the time to do that now, or is there time after?
Let's do it right now. This is the perfect opportunity.
So every Friday I do a giveaway. I don't know if you guys have seen that, either a UFO or lightsaber or something. This one I'm really excited about. You'll probably recognize it pretty quickly.
Look at that. Holy cow. Hold on. We're going full screen here. Where's
my little Imperial shuttle. This is my big project for today.
Wow.
You'll see in the video tomorrow, I'm pretty upset about the fact that this is a giveaway because for obvious reasons. It looks
so good.
But I will just say, if I could plug something really quick, is that the way to enter my giveaways is I have a Patreon. You can enter for free. You get one entry for free. There's also paid tiers to give you more entries. So if you're interested, check out my Patreon. You can get into all the giveaways. And this is the one for tomorrow. It'll be given away next Friday. So
that
was my little sneak peek. Nobody else has seen this yet.
Holy crap. No, I was gonna say I didn't. So here's the other thing. Jake is currently working on the most recent videos, other than that lightsaber we talked about a minute ago, is he's in the process of wrapping up my favorite character of Star Wars, which is R2-D2. And he has been making an R2-D2 out of wood. I just dropped him. There he goes. If you haven't seen those, like, again, the amount of detail that goes into it, the amount of carving, the amount of figuring out how do the feet work, it's so fascinating, and I cannot encourage y'all enough to go check it out because there's clearly patience involved. There's a passion here. It's really, really great. Check all those things out, but holy crap, that shuttle is incredible. I'm going to figure out how to enter all of those so that I can hopefully have a chance at winning. So good. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back from the break, we're going to play our news game. We're going to go around the galaxy. We're going to talk about some stories of the week. Jake's going to be a part of that. Chris is going to join us. He's about to jump in here. Pete's internet's going to come back online miraculously while we're at break. Everything's going to be great. And by the time we do that, and then at the end, we're going to make sure that we tell Jake or give Jake the opportunity to plug where you can find him, all the things he's got going on, because he's got a lot of stuff that you want to check out. So we will be right back with more ATG Live.
Well, it's time to go around the galaxy again. Welcome to the segment where our producer, Kelsey, clearly the most powerful being in the galaxy, selects this week's most overhyped Star Wars news from our website and forces a panel of organic life forms to argue about it. Loudly. For points. That she gives out. However she wants. This makes no sense to me at all. This week's special guests will also join the chaos, pretending that their opinions matter, while Kelsey quietly calculates who lives, who dies, and who gets muted. And at the end, the so-called winner gets 60 seconds of uninterrupted airtime, because that's what this show needs. More talking. So, hold on to your motivator and brace for impact. This is Around the Galaxy. Do I have to say it? Do I really? Roger, Roger.
We are back.
Oh,
we are
no.
at a crazy layout. Something has happened here. Wait.
Pete, help!
Pete,
I can. I am not
Pete
able to
can't,
do
oh, here it
anything.
is. I got it. Pete can't see it. There we go. Welcome back to ATG Live. Pete's on his phone. Chris is here. We're so excited to see Chris, and we are still joined by our guest, Jake Wexler. Having a fun night, talking about Star Wars, talking about the creative process, the amazing things that Jake makes in woodworking. And now it's time for us to talk about Star Wars news of the week. Kelsey, our inquisitor, is going to throw questions at us. We're going to answer them. She's going to give us points based on whether she likes us personally or whether our answers are good. And at the end of all of it, somebody gets to win and talk about whatever they want to. So, Kelsey, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, that was a little bit haphazard. This is what I get for traveling every week. My bad. But all right, I'll stick with you, Nick, first. So production for Ahsoka Season 2 just wrapped with cast members teasing an epic war ahead. What are your boldest takes on what we'll see from the show?
I actually think that Ahsoka Season 2 has the opportunity to be near the top of Star Wars TV shows that we have gotten. Andor's a big swing. A lot of Mandalorian has done a lot of great stuff. We've had some people who have had different thoughts about Skeleton Crew. Book of Boba Fett lands for different people. I'm really excited about the fact that Ahsoka Season 2 has the opportunity to kind of bring a lot of things together. We know we're heading towards Mandalorian and Grogu. We know that beyond that, there's going to be the other Filoni movie that's supposed to tie this whole universe together. I really think that, and I'm encouraged by things, and we're going to talk about Bryce Dallas Howard in a little bit. I'm encouraged by what is going into this show and what it's going to tie together. I love Ahsoka as a character. I love, a lot of the things that go into this. So I think it actually has the opportunity to outkick its coverage. I think it has the potential to be better than people expect it to be.
Okay. I just also noticed that for whatever reason tonight I can't give points, so I'm just gonna be riding on vibes. All right,
Okay.
like,
That's right.
just letting you know.
Yeah.
Chris, nice to see you. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Kelsey,
Yeah.
by way of Pete.
Yes.
I'm so excited for the Ahsoka series. I think we're going to get like a finale to Anakin's story. I think we're going to get a finale to the Mortis Gods arc. We're going to explore the Force more, like in live action. To get in live action, to explore the Force more in live action, the way we've gotten in Clone Wars, it's thanks to Dave Filoni and his writing, of course. I think that's amazing. This is probably, I hate picking favorites for Star Wars and all that stuff, but I think this is the thing I'm looking forward to the most. And we need a good Force-heavy Star Wars story in live action after the fun fest that was Andor Season 2. So I am absolutely all the way stupidly hyped for just going to get continuation of this story, to see this war between the remnants of the Empire and the New Republic. You got two military masterminds in Admiral Akbar and Thrawn. Gimme. I can't wait.
All right. Jake, you a Ahsoka fan?
So here's the thing. First, I don't actually think this microphone is on, but it's just here because it looks good. What you'll find is that the more time you spend making Star Wars things, the less time you have to actually watch Star Wars. I have not seen Ahsoka. I was also told before coming on the show that my knowledge of Star Wars wouldn't really be tested, but somebody lied. Because now I'm on the hot microphone and I got nothing to tell you guys. I apologize.
That's okay. No, I wasn't trying to test you. Just gauging general interest in the show.
No,
that's my bad.
I haven't seen it. There's a lot of Star Wars shows, unfortunately, I haven't gotten to see.
That's all right. She's got some cool lightsabers if you want to make those.
And he knows.
Yeah.
He has made some Ahsoka lightsabers.
Yes. And that was just me flexing on Matt real quick because I'd noticed he doesn't like my tattoos, apparently.
That's right.
No,
he does. He just wants to know how many Star Wars tattoos Kelsey has. That's all.
Like we're over 10. Pete, you're back. What are your thoughts on? You have any bold takes on Ahsoka season 2?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about it until Chris just said it. Like this opportunity to kind of make it. I mean, obviously it's Ahsoka, so it's going to be very force heavy and mystical. And I hadn't thought about the end of Anakin's story, but God knows we need it. So let's see what happens there, and I think the biggest challenge is just the 28-minute episodes and trying to do too much and too little. So give it time to breathe. Don't force them into 35-minute episodes. Let them do what they need to do. And my bold prediction is I think it's gonna surprise people and be better than people are expecting.
All right, that's fair. So speaking of Ahsoka season 2, Bryce Dallas Howard recently just spoke about directing and how Star Wars has allowed her to grow. What do you think she brings to the table as a director for Lucasfilm?
She seems to end up directing some of the most tender episodes, things that are definitely dealing with more of an emotional level, and she seems to really understand that. And so I think Chris has said this a bunch of times. She should have a movie. She should be one of the people who gets the next movies. But she definitely brings an emotional level that you don't normally get out of some of the Star Wars. So, and the fact that she's doing some Ahsoka makes me think that there's going to be some heartbreak in this series, which it might need it, right? I mean, we might be at a point with these characters where it might get heavy, and I'm glad that she's a part of it.
You want it to get heavier? Like, do you not see the world we're living in? Like,
no, I mean, like,
oh
I'm talking about like look, your entertainment cannot be driven by the world around you. You have to enjoy the entertainment for what it is. That being said, I think we need some closure on Ahsoka. We still need a little. I mean, I would love to see some closure on Anakin. Again, as I said before, I hadn't thought about it until Chris just said it, but I think that's a really interesting thought. And let's just make it big. Let's not make it, short and like
rushed episodes. Let's take the time. So
Okay. Jake, I'll allow you to pass if you want, unless you have like any strong feelings on like Ron Howard or like Bryce Dallas Howard.
No, I was just going to pretend like my microphone didn't work and go off on a whole thing, and then maybe you guys would think I said something smart. But I appreciate you letting me bow out on this one.
Yeah.
All right. Chris, thoughts?
Everything Pete said, except for the whole thinking that the first season of Ahsoka was rushed. You know, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He says, "Shut up."
Shut up.
But yeah, I think she brings a whole lot of heart and like heavy human like emotion to the stories that she does. And yeah, she needs to have her own movie or give her own trilogy or slew of movies, something. She needs that because she gets Star Wars and she's a phenomenal director. And I'm looking forward to her episodes. I'm looking forward to whatever episodes Dave Filoni. I'm just looking forward to it. Gimme. Gimme.
Nick?
So right off the bat, Bryce Dallas Howard is a redhead, so I have an immediate crush. Like, just come on, do whatever you want. I don't care. But she is the daughter of Ron Howard. She has a huge connection to Star Wars. Ron Howard and George Lucas are friends, obviously. They've had a long connection. And to see the things that she has done, like her understanding and knowledge of film, like the episode in, I think it's this Mandalorian season 2 that she directed, when the Razor Crest is crashing onto the water planet, is an episode that mirrors the stuff from Apollo 13, like the condensation on the control panels. Like, there is such a deep love of filmmaking and the heritage and the things that she comes from. It's phenomenal. And she also said in that article, she said, not 2, but 3 times, I so want to continue to be a part of this universe and to be a part of this. Like, this is something that's important to her. And those are the people that we want making Star Wars things, is people who love Star Wars and go, yeah, I want to be here, not for the paycheck, but because I love this. And to me, that's the core of what we are looking for in our Star Wars creators, is somebody with a passion for it. Just like Jake, who may not have an opinion about Bryce Dallas Howard, but he loves Star Wars and he's making things out of wood because he loves Star Wars. So there's a connection there. It's passion.
He gets all the points.
Jake Dallas Howard.
Jake Dallas Howard. There we go.
All right. Well, Jake, do you like Timothy Oliphant? Because Nick does.
Oh my gosh.
Who I know that name. Who is that?
It's the guy from Justified.
That didn't help.
Deadwood.
What?
All right. Well, that's okay. I was just curious.
Did you watch Alien Earth?
I only watch like 2 shows at all. So
okay.
I'm not. Yeah, I don't watch.
Jake is like, screw these guys. I'm never coming on the show again.
No, he doesn't have time. He's making too many cool things.
He's actually doing cool stuff, and we're just sitting here talking about it.
We're just admiring from afar.
I've seen every movie. I will say that. I just haven't gotten to the shows. At some point I will, but at this point there's so much out there. I feel like to catch up, I'd have to take like 3 months off of everything and just watch it all straight, or else I'll never get.
There's your retirement.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I will stick with Nick. So
While
Timothy
I'm
Oliphant. Yeah, your guy. So of course he wants to come back as Cobb Vanth. With how popular he is, like, do you buy that he actually hasn't been approached by Lucasfilm?
No, of course I don't buy that. And I'm with Matt 100%. I have 100% man crush on Timothy Oliphant. I love Justified. I love Deadwood. I haven't watched Alien Earth yet, but I will. I love Cobb Vanth in Star Wars. He's such a great actor. And he's such a great, like him, like anytime you watch, I can fall down rabbit holes of him on YouTube where he's like, he and Conan O'Brien are best friends, and the interactions that the two of them have on a podcast, on a show, he's just one of those guys that you truly go, I hope he's as good in real life as he appears to be when you watch these clips and these videos and these interviews. Sorry. Yeah, that guy. No, you're good. That guy. But when he showed up in Mandalorian as Cobb Vanth, I was immediately hooked because I love Justified and I love Deadwood and all these things that just yes, I want this. Like this is at the top of my Star Wars wish list is bring Cobb Vanth back. So do I believe that he doesn't know what's going on? No. Do I think he's in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Probably not. Do I think he's going to show up in Ahsoka season 2? Probably not. But they didn't put him in a back to tank at the end of that other Mando season for him not to show up again somewhere. And I think this final trilogy or movie or whatever that's going to tie it all together, he's going to be back. He may not know, but it's coming.
Chris, what do you think? You want to crush extremes here?
No, what? What? No, I only crush dreams when people say something stupid, like what this guy did. But, no, I'm kidding, Pete. You know I love you, sir. Do I think he's going to be involved? Not just like what Nick said. Maybe not anything that's coming right now, but yeah, this Filoni trilogy or whatever's coming from that, absolutely. I don't know if there's a place for him in the Mando Grogu thing, especially him being, on Tatooine and everything. So, if they're doing this whole Avengers style thing where everyone is going to show up at some point, or for Filoni's thing, absolutely. He's definitely hyped to get back into this. You can tell, dude had a good time. Making a Book of Boba and all that stuff. So yeah, for sure.
Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's just that sort of thing that they always do. All the actors always do. They're like, oh, I don't know. I would love to be a part of it if they'll have me back. He's coming back. I just don't know where either. Yeah, he's probably, they probably have something planned for him that he can't talk about. And I agree with Nick. I think, or Chris, if Filoni's thing is going to tie it all together, yeah, he'll be doing something in it. And if they're doing it as a major motion picture, he's too big a guy to just leave on the sidelines. So I'd love to see him have a bigger part. So, and maybe kill off Boba Fett and have him become Boba Fett, because Tamara Morrison, I'm kind of over him at this point.
Oh,
hot take, and I'm here for it. 100%.
Oh my goodness! All right,
I'm a little salty. I'm a little salty because my internet.
Apparently. All right. Well, I might be striking out like with this one, but Jake, are you a video game guy?
Which one?
Well, do you like any of like the meta stuff, like the headset stuff?
I haven't done any of that. I was going to say, if you wanted to talk about Lego Star Wars, I could do that.
Ooh, well, here. Okay, so Star Wars Beyond Victory just launched on Meta 3. What are your favorite Star Wars games, and where do you think basically an interactive one will take you?
Yeah, so I think I'm probably, it sounds like I'm the most boring person in the world. I didn't play a lot of video games growing up, but last year my wife and I did buy a PlayStation 5, and we've since finished the Skywalker saga in Lego Star Wars.
That's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, the whole thing. We actually played the original, like when it was just like the first 3 episodes. And then we finished that, and then we went back. We got it was, I don't know when it came out, but it was a different version of the 3rd trilogy. And we were just the first, I don't remember. We played through that, and then we went back and got all 9 of them, and we played from start to finish through all of that. So we're very well versed in Lego Star Wars. So that is by far my favorite, not only Star Wars video game, but video game in general. I have plans to build a Lego lightsaber at some point too.
Nice. Oh, cool. That would be great.
Have to,
I kind of figured when you said Lego, I was like, that seems on brand for you. Like, the building stuff. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have any thoughts on Beyond Victory, or what do you think?
I think I had to get a new headset to play that, and that's not going to happen in the foreseeable future. But it looks cool, and it's cool that we're getting a pod racing story. So yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I do want to play it. There's a comic book that Ethan Sachs did. That's like like an accompany to that, which was really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to at least playing it or seeing something on what the storyline for the game is.
So just to be clear, my answer had nothing to do with the question, right?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
but you still got points for it.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, no, like
You're
it's
good,
all right.
brother.
The points all matter right here. So
Fantastic. Yeah.
yeah,
Didn't sound like anything what I just said.
all good. Pete, like, are you excited for this game or?
You know, I was excited about it when I thought it was going to be a VR pod race. I was ready to start throwing up and trying to play that game with the headset. And then
Just knocking everything over.
yeah, just like breaking things in my house. My son over the summer was working, doing lawns and stuff. He's a young kid and he got paid all in cash from neighbors, you know, and so he took his money and he bought the new Meta. So I'm like, that works out well for me because I'm going to be able to download this. It's only $20, so I will probably be play. I almost downloaded it this afternoon, but I just didn't have any time. But yeah, and it's not a pod race. It's like augmented reality. Like you can play on a tabletop and stuff. So it should be interesting. But I'm excited to check it out. And you know, all the Star Wars VR things have been less games and more experiences, and I think that's fine. I think, like we've all said, we kind of like that's what the great thing is about the Disney Star Wars experience. When you're, you know, the Galaxy's Edge is you're submerged. The Vader Immortal stuff on VR was really cool. I wouldn't necessarily call it a game so much as, I mean, you did have to do things and you had to solve things, but it was mostly like just being able to be in a room with Darth Vader and stormtroopers, and it was cool. So yeah, get as Chris says, especially for $19, I'm gonna give it a try.
Nick, what do you think? You playing it?
I'm not, and I'm the grouchiest old man on earth. Like, I don't have the thing that makes this thing work. I don't know how I feel. Like, I've seen enough videos like on TikTok of like everybody's dad like trying to play a VR game and like punching their TV and falling down. Like, I don't need to be that guy. I have enough embarrassing things in my life. But I will say the positive, the thing in here, we've gotten some of the information about the voice cast and the people. You had me at Greg Proops, because if Greg Proops is going to be back as Fode and Bede, who were the two-headed guy that announced the things in the pod race and the Phantom Menace, like, let's let Whose Line Is It Anyway show back up into Star Wars. Bobby Moynihan's going to be in there. We love Bobby Moynihan, whatever he's going to do, whether it's Jedi Bob or something else. But Greg Proops had a very key specific role in the Phantom Menace as those two characters. That's awesome. Bring that back into something VR. That's fine. That's worth the cost of your $20 right there.
All right, fair enough. I do see Matt said old guys can't handle VR. It kind of makes me think, I don't know if any of you watched I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson, but he does have a VR sketch, and I was like, yep. Well, since our points didn't work, and I feel like our guest has been a really good, gracious guest. So you want 60 seconds to plug your stuff real quick?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Yeah. The best way to find me is probably on Instagram, Average Designed Wood. That's where I grew my following originally. I also have an account on TikTok. It's the same handle. It's Average Designed Wood. I post all the same stuff there. I have my website is linked in both of those profiles. You won't see a ton of stuff on the site unless you go back through and see everything that is already sold out. And then to get into the Friday giveaways, there's the Patreon. Again, you can join for free. That gives you one entry. There's 3 paid tiers above that. Gets you more entries, gives you some sneak peeks behind the scenes, that kind of stuff. And then the other thing that I would like to get out there is that at the beginning of this year, I actually started producing an audio drama podcast. So it's a science fiction thriller. You'll hear full sound effects, full voice cast. And you're just going to hear different stories like conspiracy theories, hear about UFOs, Area 51, Bigfoot, all that good stuff. And you get to really listen to the stories. So if you guys want to check that out, it's called Frequency 51. It's on Spotify. It's on, I think, Apple Music and all the other big ones. So Frequency 51 if you want to get some Halloween stories in before the holidays.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool. Very cool.
That's it.
Cool.
Outstanding.
Pete, shall I take us home, or you got this?
I suppose I can do it. Sure. Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. I'm sorry I missed half of it. I had Alabama internet tonight. And so actually, it's Canadian internet. Every time I've been on the Rebel Scum podcast, it's some sort of hiccup in the Great White North version.
Can
of the
confirm
internet.
after producing Arda, like anytime
Oh yeah,
he
there's
was in
something wrong with
Canada.
the internet up in Canada doesn't work.
Terrible.
But I'm really glad that I was able to get back. And Jake, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Love your perspective, and I just love people who find something that they love about Star Wars, and that becomes their thing. It doesn't have to be somebody who could, recite every single word or is a walking, encyclopedia of Star Wars knowledge. If you just love it enough to be inspired, then that works. So that's really great. So Nick, we're doing this sort of every other week kind of thing, but Nick, we have a guest next week, right?
We do. We are transitioning and have been transitioning into kind of an every other week situation, but we said we've got a couple of weeks coming up where we've got some extra guests. We've got your book coming out in November, so that's not, it's not carved in stone. When we've got a show, we're going to do
or
a show.
Wood.
But other than that, or carved in wood, either one. I like what you did there. Well done. So yes, next week we have our good friend Becca Benjamin from Tarkin's Top Shelf is going to be on with us. We're excited to talk to her, catch up. There's lots of Star Wars books that have come out that we know none of us except for Chris has read. So Becca's going to come in, educate us, help us make sure that we know, what it is that we're talking about. So next week, Becca Benjamin from Tarkin's Top Shelf will be our guest, and we're excited to talk to her.
That is awesome. Well, thanks again to everybody for hanging out. And Nick, may the Force be with you.
Always.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams. Just one more song, friend, and then so long, friend. The nights get shorter, it seems. Just one more rhyme, friend. Yes, it's a crime, friend. But you know time, friend. Time can fly. So it's good night, friend. Good night, but not goodbye.